$49 job postings.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's happening? Today is Thursday. It is September 22nd. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, and we come to you today from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. 7milecasino.com. Shout out to our people down at 7 Mile Casino. I'll tell you guys this. Over the course of 20 years of being on the radio in San Diego County, I have been to every casino in the county. And I mean, I feel pretty confident in telling you that. And when I walk in, I'm like, what the hell is with the smoke in these places? See, that's the beauty of 7 Mile Casino is there's no smoke. So you got blackjack poker table games on one side. You got Sammy's Restaurant and Bar on the other side. It's the place to be. If you're going to be watching football this weekend, come on down and visit. Have a good time. Good luck. And if you got any problems with gambling, you call 1-800-GAMBLER, 7 Mile Casino, 7milecasino.com. We love you guys. Look forward to getting down there myself. All right, listen, just getting underway today. Grande, Brown Man, about to jump in here. I'm going to say this. Alex has been calling for the Padres to put together a winning streak. It's 5 in a row going into the game that was being played earlier today. And Browner has been Mr. Positivity all season long. And all of a sudden, both things are starting to converge. The positivity of Browner, the winning streak that Alex has wanted. And isn't it interesting to watch a guy like Blake Snell last night? 13 strikeouts, 7 innings strong, a no-hitter until, of course, leave it to Albert Pujols to break it up. But man, in the last 5 games, if you were like me on Friday of last week and you were starting to panic going, I don't even know if they're going to make the playoffs. In 5 games, your whole attitude could change like, wow, these guys look really good. And we talked to Chris Rose about this yesterday. I'm not paying much attention to the Atlanta Braves or the New York Mets. Gosh, I've stopped paying attention to the Dodgers because their games are so meaningless. But all of a sudden, the Padres putting it together at the right time of the year. Grande, Brown Man, good afternoon. Browner, I saw you were at Petco Park last night. Looked like you were living it up, my man.
Yeah, man, you know, taking in the night vibrations and vibrations as my dog was out there K-ing clowns.
K-ing
That's
clowns.
Right. K as in strikeout. You know, Zilla. Zilla. Listen, y'all, remember
Blake.
Remember on this show.
Snell.
At one point in time on this show, I got to go my Trump hands for this. At one point in time on this show.
Trump hands.
There were people.
Way too big.
There were people on this screen talking bad about Blake. There were people on this show talking bad about Blake. You know, why we gonna pay? We need to make sure we got enough money for Musgrove. I've been telling y'all, stuff, baby. It's the time of the year for stuff. It's the stuff season. You know what you saw out there last night? Stuff. There was stuff moving, grooving, strikeouts. Please don't let me stop you.
Well, I have to admit.
I mean, I got nothing to say.
I got to admit. Listen, I'll admit this. You ready? There was a time during the season where we were like, okay, if you go into a playoff series, what's your pitching staff look like? And at the time, Musgrove was at the top of the list, you know, and it's interesting how the season has played out to where now you go into a playoff series. I mean, it's pretty obvious what happens here. I mean, Darvish is your number one.
Yep.
Snellzilla, at least based on last night's performance, I mean, that's as good as he's ever looked in a Padres uniform.
Yes.
And then Musgrove. And you know,
maybe because Clevenger, pretty nice last time outing too.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, I'm not here to debate Clevenger versus Musgrove so much.
That's a good problem to have.
The point I think I'm trying to make, though, is that it is interesting how the season it's had these ups and these downs and these ups and these downs, and how now here we get to the end of it, and Snell has given us his best performance, and Darvish has been in fuego for a couple of weeks, and it has actually played out to what you might have thought at the beginning of the year. Now, Alex, 5 games in a row. I mean, like you said, you've been calling for, hey guys, got to have a winning streak. Got to have some consistency. And 5 games in a row, I'm telling you, has I know it's changed my attitude a lot from last Friday where it was like, starting to spiral south here. 5 games later, and based on what happens today, pretty impressive. And I think, I'm not positive.
As a wise man once
okay,
said.
wait a second. A wise man, yeah.
There's a lot of games left.
It's early. It's still early.
It's early.
Yeah, it's still
early.
Yeah.
Keep it going. 13 more.
Yeah.
14, whatever it is now.
I think Bob Melvin, has, I'm not sure of this, but at least it kind of coincides. His last week, his like publicly airing out of this team, I don't know if it lit a fire under these guys. I don't know if it turned into one of those players only meetings. I'm not sure what exactly happened.
They're undefeated since, Scott, so it definitely worked.
Yeah, since Bob Melvin started talking about it started with, hey, I was more prepared analytically speaking by the Oakland A's than I am the San Diego Padres. And then when the Padres, I'm trying to remember, what was it, the game against Arizona where they got shut out by a guy making his major league debut, where
Thursday night,
where we should actually go back and grab that quote where Melvin's like, dude, I don't know, man. There's just no fight in this team. I don't know what's wrong with these guys. You got star players, you got big name guys. You're in the middle of a freaking playoff race, for crying out loud, and there's just no fight at all. And since that time, they've won 5 straight games.
I got to inspire them. And I said that was embarrassing, that they need inspiration with 18, 19, 20 games to go. And you're, 6th seed in the wild card, and you need inspiration. And obviously we don't know what happened behind closed doors, but something has clicked with the pitching staff, because that's 5 straight legit outings.
Yes.
Something's clicked in Juan Soto, because now he didn't have the best. Nobody had a great game offensively yesterday, but he still got another hit yesterday.
And another walk.
And, they benched Grisham. They've gone with Azokar at center.
Mm-hmm.
And
I believe our boy Chris Reed tweeted something today saying that they're 18-6 when he starts in center field.
Yeah.
So good luck getting. I mean, I think he's starting today, but there's just like little things not little things, big things have changed, and the results changed with them. It's not just Juan Soto. It's the fact that this pitching staff is pitching the ball the way they pitched in April and May. And we all remember how they started in April and May when this pitching staff was carrying the offense. And now it's a little bit of both. Like, obviously yesterday you only get 1 run, but before that they've been scoring 5 runs a game with the pitching doing that as well. I mean, any baseball team's going to tell you, if your starting pitcher doesn't give up any runs, that's a good chance of winning. I mean, that's just not rocket science here, boys. So, I mean, the past 5 games, I mean, they've got back-to-back shutouts. 3 of the last 4 games have been shutouts. So, I mean, the offense don't even have to do much at that point if we're not even going to give up a run.
As much experience as Bob Melvin had coming in here, analytically speaking, he didn't have real legit experience with superstar players. And he's got,
I would say, like, none.
And he's got superstars on it. He's got egos, superstar level egos on his team. And I think that may have taken him time as well to kind of figure out how to manage these guys and these personalities, along with the analytical mix within there. And I think he's kind of getting up to speed with how he should be pushing and pulling certain guys as well. And I think that's where that call out came from. And so I think the team is really vibing right now. And it's good, man. It's fun to watch. Last night was electric, man. It was great.
Tell me. I'm curious. I was watching on TV, and you were there last night. You sent a couple of different pictures, so it seemed like you were moving around the ballpark, or at least that's the way I interpreted it.
No, one was from Alex and one was from me.
Oh, Alex, were you there last night also? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. I missed that. Okay. Got it.
He was coastal elite in it. I was with the people.
Yeah. Tell me, Alex, where were you last night?
You know what it is, dog. You know what it is,
Wow,
man.
Look at this guy.
Come on now.
I guess I didn't look at my
Lexus
text
Club.
closely enough. So were you in a suite last night, Alex?
I was in the Lexus Club at a table.
Uh-huh. And is that something you kind of sweet talked your way into, or like you just walk in and they're like, oh, hell to the yeah, Grande's in the house, open the doors for him?
Yeah, listen, man, I'm not trying to show up Bill Hagen or anything, but when I go without Bill Hagen, like, I get a little step up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the second time I sit there,
Mm-hmm.
specifically with the group I went with yesterday. And it just so happened that Blake Snell pitched both those games, one last year where he went 7, struck out 10. Everybody said that was his best performance ever
Mhm.
as a Padre. He stepped it up yesterday. The exact same seats I was sitting at, I was there last year. He did the exact same thing. So, Padres, hook me up. It's 2-0.
Wait, so Alex, you were in the Lexus Club last night.
Yeah.
Browner, were you out in the Templeton area, the party area, out in the outfield, right center field?
No, I was in the free area that has the beach seats,
Mm-hmm.
like the wood deck.
Yeah.
Really good place to watch the game. I never even went to my seats. I just kind of went there because it's really close to drinks. It's really close to food. It's really close to the bathroom. And if you can get a table out there to sit at, you're golden, man. And that's what happened. We got lucky enough to get a table. And then we just kind of hung out there and drank and watched the game and just had a good time.
Gosh,
I'm
jealous,
lot of funny
guys.
people, man.
I'm really jealous. I'm jealous you guys were there last night because when I was watching the game, my buddies, those front row seats right behind home plate, you talk about the Coastal Elite, my buddies were sitting right there. There's my buddy Jeff, and there's my buddy King, and there's my buddy JJ, and I don't know who the fourth guy was. That guy took my seat.
That was supposed to be you, man.
That guy took my spot, and I was like, kind of like pissed because I'll tell you guys right now, this whole ESPN thing in LA and getting off the air at 7 p.m. at night,
it's
freaking ruining my life, dude. Cramping my style is like just a little adjustment. It's freaking ruining my life, dude. Okay.
They replaced you.
Yeah, they did. I felt terrible. Because I'm on a group text with the four of us, and I was texting my guys. I'm like, hey, looking good, guys. Like I didn't want to say like, where's my invitation, fellas?
Who's that other guy?
Yeah, like, hey, who's sitting in my seat tonight? Did I get replaced?
Yeah, we always drop if we're doing something like my friend group, if we're doing something and like certain guys weren't there and we just didn't invite them or whatever. However, if like a portion of the group is there and the rest isn't there, you just drop a little saying that we say, Scott, clean invite, dog.
Clean invite?
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Basically means like, thanks for the invite.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want
you dropped the guilt.
Well, no, I didn't want to do that because actually Rachel said to me, she goes, oh, there's your friend sitting right behind home plate. She's like, did they invite you to go tonight? And I told her, I go, no, they didn't. And I felt kind of bad because I've been so busy like running around and I was in Cleveland over the weekend. I was up in LA earlier in the week. And I'm like, man, I mean, I just, the invitation just didn't go out, but I needed to be with my daughter and I needed to be with my girlfriend. I'm like, and I didn't go to a birthday party last night and she didn't go to a birthday party last night. So we could all hang out together. And then there were my boys and I'm like, and if they invited me, I would have gone. And then I wouldn't have done the other things that I kind of needed to do and be with the people I needed to be with last night. So I'm super jealous that you guys were both in the house last night. Alex, you talked about how the vibe at Petco now is electric. We were talking about how, like I was saying earlier in the week, being at an NFL football game in Cleveland where people really, really love their team, it makes you kind of remember what it was like here in San Diego when Qualcomm was going crazy and it was a Sunday afternoon and the Chargers were playing against the Chiefs or the Broncos or the Raiders or New England or Pittsburgh, and the stadium was just nuts. And you were saying that you think Petco has that kind of a hometown-ish, NFL-ish kind of vibe right now. What'd you think about last night? I mean, you still feel that way?
I thought, 100%. I thought that the amount of people that stayed till the end is, I always kind of like, people just bounce, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it was a 1-0 game. I would say that the part that I knew that this is what I was talking about was when Blake struck out his 13th to finish the 7th. It went wild in there. Like it went wild. It was loud in there. And there was a decent amount of Cardinal fans there because every time Pujols came up, you could see them standing up and get their phones out.
They were all on the third base line. A lot of
they're all down the third base line, like towards the front left of me. And
but
it was a great crowd. I mean, for a Wednesday night, there was people in every portion of the stadium, which I'm assuming means close to sellout. Where they put the military dudes on Sunday,
up in the upper right hand corner.
If there's people there not on a Sunday, it's kind of a sellout. But there was people up.
Well, they say the crowd last night, 39,000 last night, and
where Browner was packed. Packed out there, dude.
I'm going to tell you right now, as jealous as I was of my friends that were in the front row last night behind home plate, and as kind of butthurt as I was that I didn't even so much as get an invitation, because these guys know, they're like, don't even invite him now. Dude's on the air till 7 o'clock. Game starts at 6:40. Everybody travels down together. Everybody be at my place at 6 p.m. and I'm the idiot that can't be there, right? It was a 1-0 game going to the top of the 9th inning, and I'm still watching the game on TV, and my boys all left.
Trying to beat the traffic. They knew Clevenger had it on lock. They knew Clev had it.
No. But this Clev. I mean, what are we talking about here? This is the.
I mean,
Hader.
Josh Hader. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do look a little bit alike, but
they put like 2 ropes out there, dog. Like I was like, ooh.
Right.
Whoever let off that inning.
Soto made an amazing catch.
Yes.
Made an incredible catch.
Made a catch in center.
And Goldschmidt. They both like the sound of the crack of the bat. I was like, oh
yeah, because those were the 2, 3, 4 hitters that were coming up, and then Pujols was coming up, and you talk about like, oh man, do I feel super confident in Josh Hader? Not really, but he's gotten it back together, and based on who was coming up, I'm like, man, any one of these next 3 or 4 batters could all change this game with one swing of a bat. So there was a vibe, at least from me on watching on television. You know, I thought it was. Listen, I thought it was electric just watching on TV. And now I'm just thinking about this real quick, that the season here, the last 9 games of the season are all at home, and 3 of them against the Dodgers. That's the series. I'm trying to think of the dates of those games.
It's middle of the week, next week.
Those are the games we should go to.
It's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah. Those are one of the games. I got to get to one of those games next week. That's what I got to
get us those front row, the 3 of us.
Love to. I would love to. The problem is getting those front row tickets. Hard to get those.
Actually don't love. I've sat there once with you, and yes, they're great. They're amazing. All the trinkets that comes with it's fantastic. I don't like being on camera that whole time.
Well,
I want to shove my face
my
with
nose.
nachos.
Yeah, right.
I want to drink beer. You know, like I don't like being on camera the whole time.
I like being around people. Like I think where I sat last night was probably one of the best places for me because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of action around you. And you get a good angle for balls hit. Like that ball that Soto caught the first out in the 9th, when that ball was hit, I was like, oh, that's a base hit. And he caught that ball, and I was like, oh, my God, because the angle where we were at, it looked like that ball had no chance of being caught. And the people where I was at went nuts when they caught that ball, dude, because it just from the angle we were at, it just looked like a hit. So
and Blake, next year, by the way, we're talking about angles of being hit. I was directly in line with the shift of where Pujols hit the ball. Like next year, Blake Snell still has a no-hitter.
Right.
Because
like they eliminate the shift.
Yeah. Because those both hits he gave up were in the exact same spot because Cronenworth was over on top of second.
God, I hate the shift.
Damn it.
I hate the shift.
The worst, man.
Damn it.
Shift's the worst. But I don't think he would have finished the game because he
ran
out of gas.
His pitch count was so high, he started bouncing pitches.
I think he was at like 117 when he was finished.
And he ran out of gas, man.
That's a lot of pitches for a guy who we've always thought of as like, hey, if he can get through 6 innings, good. I mean, that's kind of Blake Snell's deal.
I also thought the fact that they gave him another batter was very good on the coaching staff. No, because they came out after he gave up the 2 hits.
Oh yeah.
They came out to talk to him, and they had like this long meeting. They're like, are they leaving him in? And at that point, the crowd got super juiced. I think he got juiced, and he bounced the first one.
Yeah.
And then he struck him out. And
he was throwing 99 last night.
Dude, do you realize that he had 13 strikeouts?
Yes.
But listen to this. All swinging.
Stuff.
What is that? What is that, Brownie?
Stuff, baby.
That's some stuff right there, huh?
Yes, that stuff.
7 innings pitched, 2 hits. We're looking at it on screen right now. 13 strikeouts, no earned runs, 117 pitches, his career high for strikeouts in a game. And again, you don't see this necessarily in the box score, but I find it interesting. I don't know if this is, I guess we could probably do some homework on it. I'm not going to do it, but 13 strikeouts all swinging. Like that sounds pretty rare, doesn't it? If I told you somebody had 13 strikeouts and 7 were swinging and 6 were looking, you're like, okay, all right. Even if it was 10 swinging and 3 looking, but all 13 strikeouts swinging. He had some stuff.
Does what he did last night. If you continues to do what he's done the last 20 starts, and if Musgrove finds the form that he picked up against Arizona and keeps it going, which today we'll see. Padres are a problem in that 3-game series.
Yes, for any team.
Padres are a problem for any team.
Well, listening to Chris Rose yesterday talk about the top. But think about Chris Rose yesterday saying what he's saying about Atlanta. And what he's saying about the Mets,
who the Padres beat, by the way.
Yeah, first series of out of the All-Star break. But all I'm saying is Alex, I think you're right. I mean, if these guys continue to do what they're doing, we'll look at it in the next segment, what the starting rotation has been doing. But if these guys can do what they've been doing, and if Soto and Machado and everybody kind of keeps this going. And not, again, they only scored 1 run last night. But the point is, the Padres starting pitching staff seems to compare reasonably favorably.
I think if it's the Padres can make a lot of noise if that pitching staff does what they've been doing the last 5 games, like a lot.
All right. Well, we're just underway. It is Thursday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew. Padres game started earlier. We're going to talk a lot of football this afternoon. I do want to stick around, though, around the Padres here for just a little bit, because I think since we're talking about what the Padres pitching staff has been doing, let's take a look at that. And then let's start moving into the NFL weekend, because there's a huge game tonight and a big weekend coming up. A lot of college football stuff I want to get to. So we're officially underway. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. Grande was in the house last night. Big Brown was in the house last night. And I was sitting at home watching it on TV, watching my friends in the front row, being jealous that I wasn't in the house last night. Just getting going. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. Stick around, everybody.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues. Live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch your San Diego Loyal take on Las Vegas Lights FC, Saturday, September 24th at 7 p.m. Support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. Las Vegas Lights FC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
I thought I was okay. I had a degree, I had work experience. I should be able to provide for my kids. But they're just things that you don't plan on in life.
My husband got laid off and we are a family of 5.
My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I would ask the doctors, what can I do? And they would just say, just make sure she's eating. Our lives just changed completely. Thank God that we always had a plate of food.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. From our street to your street, Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
We use our phones to order our food, catch a ride, share our stories, and so much more. SDCCU made banking from your mobile device easy, too. You can do so much, get up-to-date account balances, check on pending deposits, transfer money, deposit checks, and more. Safely and securely, all through the convenience of your smartphone. SDCCU. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
Main streets are the heart of our communities, where we connect with our neighbors, support local businesses, and share new adventures. Main Street Living celebrates all of this, bringing you uplifting stories with guests from across the country and your community. Main Street Living covers what's important to you today, from our street to your street. Join Cheryl, Danielle, and Quincy for Main Street Living, Mondays at 9 on Your View.
Welcome back This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. Hey, let's get right back into the Padres and what has been going on here in these last 5 games as we're now headed towards the playoffs. And as we talked about earlier in the show, the Padres now, statistically speaking, have a 95% chance of making the postseason. And now we're down to the last 12, 13 games of the year. Here is former Padre All-Star closer and longtime great friend, Heath Bell, rejoins Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Hey, Heath, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
We're doing really well. What's cooking in your life?
Not much. I'm missing my son that's off in college, but he's hitting really well. He hit 3 home runs last week, and this week he said he had a walk-off single. So,
where's he playing college ball now?
Arkansas Tech.
Okay. And is this baseball season in college, or is this like some kind of...
This is like winter, get who's going to be on the team, who's not going to be on the team, stuff like that. Wow. It's just kind of like inter squads playing community college guys, playing other schools that not there's no formal league. They're just kind of like makeup games. Like they played 18 innings last Saturday. So
that's really cool, man. Boy, I'm glad your son is doing well, because there was almost a moment in his life where the kid almost gave up baseball. I remember it vividly. I was umpiring in a little league game. And
you were?
And I was umpiring a little league game.
Oh boy!
Because I had to. Because when you were a dad who was coaching in the little league, managing, or you were part of the staff, you had to umpire games. And Heath's son was a little bit younger than my son, and I went to go umpire this game, and it was probably the first game I ever umpired. And I didn't want to do it, but I guess I needed to do it. And I rung Heath's son up on a ball that was so not a strike, and I don't know how poor little guy went back to the dugout. He was young. He probably started crying. I was like, I'm sorry. It was a terrible call. It was on me. I'm a bad umpire, But no, I'm only teasing, Heath. I'm glad to hear your son is doing well. What is Arkansas Tech? Is that what division do they play in?
It's actually Division II. Mm-hmm. So it's a 4-year school in Division II.
So my son is also playing Division II college football. And I got to say, man, I went to a game last week in Cleveland, Ohio. I was telling John and Alex, I have so much respect for these kids and the coaches. The kids just want to keep playing. And the coaches, they're not just coaching, man. These guys, I saw the assistant coach. He coached the whole defense the entire game. And then after the game, he was at the Chick-fil-A truck, like pulling out Chick-fil-A sandwiches for the kids after the game. Like they don't have the big budgets. And there's like a part of me, because I got the opportunity to play big time college football, there's like a part of me that kind of feels bad for my son. Like, gosh, I wish he was good enough to play at the big time school. And then there's another part of me that's like, I have so much respect for the persistence and the perseverance to want to keep on playing. What is it like for you, who played in the major leagues, who had an all-star caliber career, to have your son playing at Arkansas Tech rather than playing at USC, for example? How does that make you feel as a father?
Well, I'm proud of him, but he's the one who made that decision. He could have gone to a local community college like I did. He had a few offers to go to Division I, but he had the Division I with COVID. I mean, they're playing with 23, 24-year-olds, even at Division II. And he had an opportunity to play his freshman year. And he said, the only way for me to get better is to play. And if I went to Division I, there's most likely I would sit my first year or second year, because I'm only 18 in my freshman year. So he took it upon himself, and he said with the transfer portal, if he does really well, he could transfer if he wanted to after his freshman year or sophomore year to a Division I. So it's just, he's making his own path. And in baseball, I feel like if you're good enough, you're going to get a chance to get drafted, and you just have to be the best player in the league. That's what I told him. If you're going to go to Division I, or I'm in Division II, you have to be the best player. Not just the best player on your team. You have to be the best player on your league. And he goes, I'm up for the challenge. I feel like I can do it. And then if I don't like it, I can always, go and enter the transfer portal. And I'm 1 year older, and I've already seen college pitching. So, he's kind of making his destiny and his dreams come true. So, and he's following his own path. So I'm proud of him.
I'm with you, man. I'm proud of my son too. couple years of junior college ball and bouncing around, and most guys in his position probably would have given up a long ass time ago. But this guy just doesn't want to stop, man. And he's doing great. So, all right, Heath, it's great to have you back. Heath Bell is here. The former Padre All-Star closer is back with us. Heath, on one hand, I got my guy Browner, who's been ultra positive. I mean, something right out of your playbook. You would have loved it all season long when the Padres looked like they were spiraling, when people were starting to panic, myself included. Browner just believed the entire time. And then Grande over here has been calling for consistency, a winning streak. And finally, the Padres have gotten one going into today with 5 straight. So I'm curious, where, just generally speaking, where are you at on what the Padres got going on right now?
Well, to me, honestly, it seems like the last couple games ever since Arizona, actually really since Seattle, you see them starting to come together. I mean, I think they went to a football game. A few of them went to a concert, and
Alex was there.
The Bad Bunny concert, Alex. Yeah. That may be the turning point of the entire year.
That's good Bad Bunny juju.
I think when they weren't playing well, they were not doing things as a team, because we all know early in the season they were fooling around on the field. And I know you can have more fun when you're winning games and when you're not winning games, but I think they got a little too big headed mid-season or whatnot and kind of fell off. And then they were panicking. And then, we made some great trades, and then Tatis Jr. came up, and then there was just all this mix going on. And I think they finally came back together. They, like I said, they went to a concert, they went to some football games, and they're starting to gel together. And what makes me so excited of late is when they're playing the Cardinals. I mean, definitely we should have beat the Arizona Diamondbacks. The first game in Arizona was kind of scary. And then after that, they won every game, and it was like, okay, but we should win these games. And then the way they showed up on Tuesday and last night, it was like, it doesn't matter who we're going to play, we're going to beat you. We're going to go out there, we're going to play our game, and we're going to win. And for me as a pitcher, what has been so exciting is, our pitching staff haven't been walking people. Our bullpen hasn't walked anybody. And out of the last 5 games, our starters, I think, have walked 4 or 5 guys. And that's just, before then we were walking, probably 3 or 4 guys a game. And now we're not walking anybody. There's no free bases. We're attacking hitters. And that's what I like to see. And if we can get hot at the right time, this is the right time to get hot. So if we can just keep playing hot. And I actually said this on my podcast. Let's get hot. And if we play the Dodgers, next week, who cares if we win or lose? Well, let's just play them like, if you're going to throw breaking balls 0-2, throw fastballs. Who cares if we lose? Because we're going to try to get to the playoffs, and then we'll play real against them in the playoffs, and they'll be like literally shocked. The Dodgers will think, oh, we can beat them. We beat them all year. And then the playoffs will play a little bit different, and we'll kick their butt in the playoffs. So, but we just got to beat everybody else regular season to get in the playoffs and get hot. So that's kind of my mojo right now.
Heath, I think something as important as Soto turning it up, and obviously the pitching staff being the way they've been doing, is this resurgence of Hader. And I'm sure you're paying close attention to the guy. It's your position. Yeah. But have you seen a specific difference from his early struggles with the Padres to the last, what's it been, like 5 or 6 outings where he hasn't allowed a run? Is there something specific that you see in his approach or what he's doing?
Personally, I just think he's starting to look more comfortable. When you're not comfortable with the catcher, it's a little bit harder for you to pitch. It seems weird to say that, but when you're not on the same page with the catcher, and I think that's what happened. I'm not in the clubhouse. I'm not talking to them personally, so I don't know. But what I see on the outside is he just came over there. He wanted to do really well. And then his pitches were there, but it wasn't like the right pitches. I see, like when he was getting hit, the pitches were still good, like down and away strikes or whatnot, or in. It wasn't like leaving the balls over the middle, but I just think it was the wrong pitch at the wrong time. So, and now I feel like he's more convicted. He's more confident with the catcher, or at least throwing his pitches now, or maybe he told the catchers, I'm throwing what I want to throw. You listen to me, I'm not listening to you, or whatnot. Or maybe they just started talking about how he likes to pitch, but he looks more confident out there than early on. He was trying to, like, look, you guys traded for me, so let's go to the playoffs. Now he just looks like he's trying to pitch and get everybody out like he did in Milwaukee. So it's good to
Hey,
see.
follow up to that though. Is there anything to, and maybe you've had this happen in your career, like where you get traded in the middle of the season and you're really a successful guy and your team is in playoff contention as Milwaukee is now and was then? I mean, is there anything to what happens to you mentally, emotionally that can hurt your performance? Because I know a lot of us probably just assume, well, you're pitching in Milwaukee. Now you come pitch in San Diego, you change uniforms, you're in a different clubhouse. Big deal. Get your ass out there and pitch. But is there anything to the mental, emotional part of it that could be why he struggled early and now he's kind of getting it back together?
Well, it could have been easily like the Padres didn't just trade for him. They traded for what? 3 other guys. So it was like everybody was talking about the San Diego Padres. He's a free agent at the end of the year, if I'm correct. Is he? Or is the Hader's a free agent, isn't he?
I believe so.
So he's a free agent at the end of the year.
We're going to go with yes right now.
Yeah. So he's a free agent at the end of the year. So he's maybe looking to get paid. Like maybe I have to do a little bit more. Milwaukee got rid of me. They didn't want to pay me. Maybe San Diego will. Maybe I'm going to go in the open market. I mean, he spent pretty much his whole career in Milwaukee thinking, hey, I want to be in Milwaukee the rest of my career. You know, my family's here or whatnot, and I got friends here, and now I got to go to a new city, and I want to do really well for them. And now you're thinking about all these other things, like possibly free agency and new fans, this and that, and you're just not in that comfortable, you know, place that you've been for multiple years. So mentally, it is a little bit of tough, but as soon as you kind of settle down and take a step back, then you take 2 steps forward and you just worry about just pitching and not worry about all that other outside stuff.
When guys go into slumps, like we saw Soto go in such a deep slump, we saw Hader kind of go through a slump as well. What is that like in the clubhouse? Do you talk to that guy or do you just kind of leave him alone? Like, or is each guy treated differently when they're going through something like that?
Everybody's a little bit different. You just pat on somebody's back and say, hey, you know, don't worry, you'll figure it out. You know, everybody's a little bit different. Some guys, you know, want to work hard through it. Some guys want to take a breather. Some guys just want to forget about it and not even talk about baseball and just maybe go back to the little things or whatnot. So it's a mental game. Like guys in AAA are talented enough to be in the big leagues, but the mental game from AAA to the big leagues is night and day. It's like turning a light on in your room in a dark room. Either the light's on or it's not. So that's the difference between you see guys in AAA hitting 300, 350, 30 home runs and come up to the big leagues hitting 210, you know, with 5 home runs, because mentally it's hard. It really is. It's you know, you got baseball cards, you got people talking about you, you got ESPN, you got Baseball Tonight, all this stuff where AAA, if you slip and fall, most likely nobody's going to talk about it. If you do that in the big leagues, they're going to talk about it for years. You know, you're going to be a meme on the social media or whatnot. So there's a lot more part of it. And then you have the money aspect, that the fame and fortune could be huge, where in AAA, it doesn't matter how good you are. You could hit 3 straight years, 400, and the club never calls you up for whatever reason. You're not getting paid, you know, but if you do that in the big leagues, you're going to get paid and everybody's going to be talking about it.
Heath Bell is here this afternoon on Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Heath Bell, the former Padre All-Star closer, now has a podcast that he does through the Believe Podcast Network and talks a lot about Padres baseball. Heath, how can people find the podcast, just so we can make sure we give it a little plug here?
Just go to the Believe Network or go to your iPhone or wherever podcasts are and, you know, ring the bell, type that in, and usually I pop up.
Okay. It's called Ring
the
the Bell.
I'm not a huge tech savvy guy, but that's pretty much it.
I thought of myself as I asked you that. Gosh, he may have no idea how the hell people can even listen to his podcast. All right. So, Heath, Alex can put this graphic up on the screen. He's putting this graphic up on the screen, this is where you can find it. The Believe Podcast Network is BLEAV. We've known these guys for a really long time. We've done a lot of work with these guys. And Heath's got a podcast.
And Nick's on after us today.
Yeah. And so Nick Kreider is a kid who we've been working with for a long time. And his podcast comes on after us tonight on 1090. So from 6 to 7 p.m., we bring those guys on today. So on Thursday night. So that's really cool.
Yeah, really tidbit about me and Nick. So here's the funny part. Nick loves San Diego, but he went to high school in Georgetown, Texas, actually where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm.
We had no idea that we just basically swapped spots.
Right. Nick is a kid from San Diego, grew up hardcore Padres, hardcore Chargers, went down to Texas, like you mentioned, where you're from, where you're living now.
Yep.
And then he and his buddies all went to University of Texas together in Austin. And now they all live in LA and they all work for this podcast network and they do their, a variety of different podcasts. And we've had him on the station. What would you say, Alex? We've had him on 1090 for probably well over a year, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, almost since the beginning of 1090, no?
Yeah, yeah. And so they're great guys, and I'm glad to see that you guys are working together. So Heath, take a look at this. Alex will put it up on the screen. Look at what the Padres starting pitching has done in the last 5 games. And we're putting up 4 names, but 5 games. Take a look at these. The innings pitched, every guy has a 0 next to earned runs, and the hit counts have been really low, especially for Darvish and Snell last night. 13 strikeouts, all swinging. I mean, what do you think about the way this pitching staff has sort of come back here in the latter part of the season?
What's most impressive for me, if you look on it, is the first stat, innings. I would say a month ago, most of our starters were going 4 1/3 inning, maybe 5 innings. Now they're starting to get into the 6th inning and 7th inning, and that's what a starter needs to do. He needs to pitch 6 innings. In today's game, when I was playing, it was like if a starter did really well, you pitched in the 7th inning. But it almost seemed like they were only pitching 4 innings, maybe getting into the 5th, but need the bullpen in the 5th inning, and that's not even half the game. And your starters should be pitching at least half the game, if not more. So that's what's most impressive for me. Even the walks weren't up there. You're throwing less pitches. For me, a month ago, our starting pitching was throwing 100 pitches in like 4 innings. They were throwing 92 pitches in 4 innings. And it was just like, man, they're throwing way too many pitches. And then the batters are just going to see them and see them and see them. And, back in the day where Greg Max would throw 80 pitches in 9 innings. So, and now guys can throw 100 pitches in 6 innings or 7 innings is like, man, you did a great job. And it's like back in, 20 years ago, that was not very good. So that's what's most impressive to me. It gives the bullpen some rest. It gives the bullpen that they don't have to work hard every single night. And the starters go out there because, they're pitching every 5th day. And it gives the team a break. And if you're throwing strikes and getting people out, then your defense isn't out there all the time. And then your defense gets to come in and sit on the bench. So then your offense is more well rested to hit and run the bases. And that's what's most impressive to me. The starters are going longer in the game. And that's why I think the Padres are doing so well right now.
All right. Heath Bell stopping by. It's been a while since we've had Heath Bell on the show. Yeah. Very exciting. Browner, you got it. Listen, I don't know if you've been reading the Heath Bell playbook of positivity, but years ago, the Padres might have been like 50 and 100 in the last 12 games of the year. And Heath be like, Padres still going to win the World Series, man.
Well, are they
if we were only 10 out and there's 15 to go, you still have a chance.
Still got a chance.
How do you like their chances this year that they're likely to get in the playoffs? How do you feel this year?
I like their chances better if they're in the 5th spot than the 6th spot. I would rather honestly play the Cardinals in the playoffs and not play the Braves because I think one of the Braves or the Mets are the 2 hottest teams. But I just think the Padres keep winning. That's going to do them better for long term. And then they just go, okay, well, let's lose the last game or 2 so we can play the, St. Louis, and we won't have, if we win the first round, we don't have to play the Dodgers right away. So, and I'm like, who cares? It's the playoffs. Let's just go and win. Who cares who we're playing? Let's just win.
Because my theory is this: if you get the Dodgers early, you have a better chance of beating them because look, they're going through the end of the year. They're just trying to get to the end now. So there's a good chance they might not even be locked in by the time you get to them. Now, if they're playing San Diego, that may be a little different.
Exactly, because the Padres are going to be fighting and scratching and clawing and playing their best baseball, where the Dodgers are going to be like, okay, everybody just take a step back. Let's not play as hard. Let's not get hurt. Let's wait for the playoffs. And maybe, they're a little slow to start, and then we just jump on them and pounce on them. And before they know it, we won the series and it's over.
My biggest hope is just that they get through the wild card, whoever it is, whether it be St. Louis or Atlanta, because this fan base deserves a playoff game at Petco Park this year. Like
if
they
we
didn't get
can
one. They didn't get one in 2020.
If we can start the playoffs with a winning streak, I think we have a really good chance. We need a winning streak going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because the deal is, just to clarify this, and I know we got to hustle up, but the team that hosts the wild card round, they host it the whole way through. Like all three games are in that ballpark. Yeah.
So, you win 2, you're out. So.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember so many years ago when the Kansas City Royals won the World Series, and I came on the radio the next day. I'm like, God, I want that so bad for this city. These small market teams never really have a chance to compete. We were always taught and brainwashed that the Padres could never keep up financially. And when the Royals won the World Series, like, God, I would love to see that for this city. And I don't know for sure if it's going to happen this year, but I'll tell you what, all of a sudden these 5 games have made a lot of us who were doubters start to get really excited about the possibilities. Heath, it's great to talk to you, man. Appreciate you big time. And we look forward to having you back as we get closer or into the playoffs. Thanks, man.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
All right. Heath Bell stopping by, the Padres All-Star closer. And a lot of positivity coming from Heath Bell always. Stick around. Want to get back to the big upcoming NFL weekend, which starts tonight. This is Kaplan and crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Your View honors Hispanic Heritage Month.
The 2022 San Diego Loyal season continues. Live on Your View and YourView.com. Watch your San Diego Loyal take on Las Vegas Lights FC, Saturday, September 24th at 7 p.m. Support the San Diego Loyal as they continue their bid for the 2022 USL Championship. Las Vegas Lights FC versus the San Diego Loyal, Saturday at 7 on Your View.
Your View honors Hispanic Heritage Month.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
Let's go ahead and check out some updates with San Diego State football. SDSU was down by number 14 Utah last Saturday on the road. The Aztecs lost starting quarterback Braxton Burmeister to an eye injury early in the first quarter and couldn't find a rhythm with their backups. True freshman and third-string quarterback Kyle Crum was under center for most of the game. He threw 53 yards and one touchdown pass late in the fourth quarter to help avoid the shutout. The loss snapped a 5-game road winning streak, which was the third longest active streak in the nation. SDSU is now 1-2 for the first time since starting 1-3 in 2015. They've played their last 19 games without having a 2-game losing streak. This Saturday, SDSU takes on Toledo at Snapdragon Stadium, looking to get back in the win column. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View. You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
San Diego Varicose Vein Treatment Center, we take care of all various needs of patients for management of their venous insufficiency. People who come here are mainly concerned about symptoms that brings them on or issues related to cosmetic concern that we can always take care of. Now with the advancement of technology and so many catheter-based treatments, we can treat our patients much more quickly, much more comfortably with less downtime. Patients love the result invariably.
It's been a huge impact in my life to feel better, to be able to power walk again. Overall, I'm just feeling like I used to feel when I was a lot younger, and I'm so grateful for this place.
It's a privilege to take care of our patients. It comes from the heart, and I love it.
PNC Bank specializes in a full suite of financial services from retail banking to mortgage to corporate banking. So while PNC Bank is a full-service financial institution, we view ourselves more than that, and that really is how we care and give back to our community.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships.
PNC is literally one of the only people we've ever allowed to be in here as a sponsor because we know how committed they truly are to the community and how committed they truly are to kids.
We continue to look forward to investing back into youth, arts, and especially the military here. I mean, San Diego is a military town, and we are giant supporters of the men and women that fight for our freedom.
My name is Alejandro Eugenio Guido Perez. I play for the San Diego Loyal, and I'm a midfielder. Midfielder kind of does a little bit of everything. Attacks, defends, it helps organizes the press to win the ball back, and then defend in the low block, and then attack and create opportunities for the forwards to score and yourself. I started at a young age playing soccer. I did it here in Chula Vista, but I also played in Tijuana, Mexico. It's definitely been restorative to be back home and be at a club, such a great club that values the person, not just the player. I've been able to grow tremendously on and off the field and be taken care of by the family that's around me and supporting me.
So Southwestern College, the name of the mariachi is Mariachi Garibaldi, is the performing group that we have. We've actually had as many as 4 different ensembles, so 4 different classes, beginning, intermediate, advanced. And the advanced group is outstanding. We got that associate's degree in music with a mariachi specialization approved in 2004. And that was the first in the world anywhere. It's not a degree in mariachi music, it's a degree in music with a specialization in mariachi.
The ensemble is great. I mean, it ranges anywhere from 30 to 50, sometimes 60 members every semester. It's fantastic.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the Mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
Hunger is a year-round problem. The San Diego Food Bank and our North County Food Bank chapter provide food assistance at locations throughout the county. We need your help. Host a food drive, volunteer, or donate online. Thank you for making a difference.
Home of Guiding Hands helps San Diego community in that we're a resource for families. A lot of times when families first identify that their child, their loved one, might have an intellectual or developmental disabilities, they don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. And we're here to help guide people through that process, to show them what a thriving life their loved one can have. It's a passion I share, having a daughter with a disability.
I really love the place that I live at. Because of Home of Guiding Hands, I was able to move out of my parents' house and into a beautiful home that I love living in. And so if you have an independent living service coordinator, they will help you learn more about being independent, and they help guide you through different things. They've helped me with lots of encouragement and love. They've also given me an ILS worker who is an amazing person, and I love her so much. She's great. I could tell you the first, I think, week or so, I wasn't feeling very confident in myself. The first couple of nights I was like, oh, this is scary. But I look back on it now and I'm like, this is so easy.
Main Street Living celebrates diverse abilities in partnership with Home of Guiding Hands, supporting the special needs community for over 55 years.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.